Hey guys, it's Jessii Vee, and in today's video we're going to be talking about one of my favorite Christmas movies ever, The Grinch. You have to say that with like the same like creepy Grinch smile. Ready? Did I kind of do it? No. And as you can see, I'm still wearing my Christmas narwhal sweater. It's so comfy. The inside of the sleeves just have this softest material ever. It says, "All I want for Christmas is a narwhal." It's just a really true sentiment. I relate. So we still have a few of these left. If you would like one, I have linked it down below. Only available for this Christmas season, but I'll probably wear it all year round. And also just because I like to keep you guys posted of the new custom jewelry pieces that I make. I have made a bunch of Christmas necklaces. We have some with little hats on them, some with like candy cane bows. We have legit like Christmas bow ones. I also made little cute snowman earrings with crystals on them. I still have a couple more of the fairy door necklaces and the fairy door charm bracelets. I have made some Swarovski crystal narwhal tail necklaces and some other really pretty rainbow stone necklaces. And there's still a couple more of the glass vials with the roses in them. This is probably the most selection I've ever had on my Etsy store ever. So if you guys would like one before they sell out, all you have to do is check out my Whimsy Wonders Instagram account. I've linked that down below. It has all the links to where you can buy them there. And yeah, I just love making jewelry. So yeah, let's jump into all of the very creepy conspiracies about the Grinch, but first we're gonna start with its history. How the Grinch Stole Christmas is a children's story by Dr. Seuss that was published in 1957. It follows the Grinch, who is a grumpy, solitary creature who attempts to put an end to Christmas by stealing Christmas-themed items from the homes of the nearby town called Whoville on Christmas Eve. But by the end of the book, miraculously, the Grinch realizes that Christmas may not all be about money and presents, and his heart grew 3 sizes that day. I feel like every single person ever at least knows about the story. Now, what I find interesting is that this particular book was not the first time that people had ever seen this Grinch character. The Grinch actually first appeared in a 33-line poem by Dr. Seuss, and this poem was called The Hubbub and the Grinch, and it was published in 1955. And here's what the Grinch looked like in that particular poem, and how the Grinch stole Christmas wasn't even written until a couple years later. And then in 1966, it was made into an animated movie, which is mainly the one we're going to be focusing on today. But I'm sure most of you also know the live-action film from 2000. I mean, to me, Jim Carrey will always be the best Grinch ever. Now, I was actually so surprised to find out through research that they actually made a Halloween Grinch movie back in 1982. Are you kidding me? It was literally called Halloween is Grinch Night. And why am I only hearing about this now? It tells the story of the Grinch making his way down to Whoville to scare all the Whos on Halloween. I literally need to find this somewhere and watch it right now. Another interesting fact is actually about the Fahu Forays song. The nonsense song, which is sang during the movie, was created to imitate Latin words. And when people first saw this movie, they thought they were actually singing in real Latin, and people started looking around for a translation, asking for it to be translated, but no, these aren't actually real words, it's just nonsense. Alright, so let's jump into the first very eerie conspiracy theory. So the theory is that the Grinch was not only trying to steal Christmas away from the Whos, but he was also trying to wipe them out completely. He was trying to kill them. Now, the Grinch was originally part of a book series by Dr. Seuss, and one of the other books that he made was called Horton Hears a Who. In the book, Horton's friends try to destroy Whoville, which exists on only a speck of dust. And they're trying to destroy them because they don't believe it exists in the first place. So Horton therefore asks the residents of Whoville to make as much noise as possible so that his friends will finally acknowledge the town's existence and avoid killing them. So if you've ever read the book or watched the movie, the Whos literally have to start shouting, "We are here, we are here, we are here!" And it takes a lot of noise for them to finally be heard because they're literally just microscopic on this little piece of dust. So finally, Horton's friends hear them and decide not to destroy them. But here's the thing, in this theory, Whoville has lived in terror ever since that happened. You know, they're afraid that someone might accidentally step on them, or eat them, or just destroy them in general. And when we see the Whos 2 years later in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, they're immediately described as incredibly noisy people. And they're not just noisy at Christmas, they're noisy all the time. It seems like every single present that a kid in Whoville will get is some sort of noisemaker. They literally have tubas so massive that they take 6 people to play. They also have elaborate drums that play an entire kit at once. Here's an actual page from the book. It says, all the Who girls and boys would wake up bright and early. They'd rush for their toys, and then, oh the noise, noise. That's the one thing he hated, the noise. And if you really think about it, them making all that crazy noise is pretty reasonable because of the constant peril they are in from someone harming the speck of dust that they live on. That means they're not really making all this noise just to celebrate Christmas. Like I said, they're making the constant noise because they live in constant fear that at any moment, some random kangaroo might just come along and try to like throw them into a vat of oil just for a laugh. So here's how the Grinch's plot might have killed them all. It's not entirely clear what's wrong with the Grinch. He's obviously not the most educated person. He hears his fellow countrymen banging as loud as they can to keep their planet alive, and he finds it annoying. So his whole plot to steal Christmas is kind of crazy because he's trying to put an end to the one thing keeping his species alive. When the Who's wake up to find they've all been robbed, they go out into the town square to sing carols. Now the Grinch thinks they're starting to sing because they just love Christmas, they're in the Christmas spirit, but they're actually singing because it's the last thing that will keep them alive. They have no more instruments or things to make loud noises with. So they're freaking out because their survival literally depends on these things. So yeah, when we were kids watching the movie, we thought, hey, they're starting to sing because they love Christmas. But no, they're singing because they'll die if they don't. And that's the whole really eerie conspiracy. It's that the Grinch wasn't just trying to end Christmas, he was trying to end them. The next theory is that the Grinch is actually a possessed Who, because if you look at him, he does have a similar face shape as the Who's, you know, the tiny nose, the big mouth. It's just that he's hairy and green and has really red eyes. So the theory is that he's taken over by an evil spirit and his body is morphed and changed. Because when someone's possessed, that's kind of what happens. You change entirely, the way you talk, the way you look, the way your body moves. It actually can get really creepy. And he's also able to do things like eat glass in the live action film, and he's pretty violent with himself in a lot of the scenes, but he never actually injures himself. It's like he never feels pain, he's always unharmed, and that's what happens when you're possessed. Like, your body can do a lot of things that normally it can't. It could also explain why he wants to terrorize the town and take away everyone's happiness, because he's literally evil. And then at the end of the movie, Cindy Lou Who is the one who like brings him back to his normal self because she's so innocent and pure, and her hugging him and being around him scares out the evil spirit and he's able to be himself again, because obviously evil doesn't want to be around anything pure or good, and Cindy Lou Who is that. So yeah, this one's not a super long conspiracy, but I can kind of see what they mean. I can kind of see that. And the last creepy theory is that the Who's and Whovilles are actually cannibals. People say there's something strange about the shape and size of the roast beast. It's quite large, and if you look at some of the sizes of the Who's, the roast beast looks really similar to their size and shape. People also say it's very vague to call something roast beast because what exactly is the beast that they're eating? And the theory goes that maybe the Grinch doesn't like the Who's because they're literally cannibals. Like, maybe he doesn't agree with their way of life, so this whole time we think the Grinch is this evil thing, but really the Who's are evil. Like, remember how there's one scene where the Grinch takes away the Who hash? Like, what the heck is Who hash supposed to be? Like, food is not usually named for who consumes it. Like, if we go and buy cereal, they don't call it human cereal, you know what I mean? You know, when you go to the store, you find things like corned beef hash because there's corned beef in it. So the fact that the Who's eat Who hash, it insinuates they're literally eating Who's. So, and the theory says, look at the Grinch. He already looks very different by his appearance. And if the Who's are willing to eat their own, what's stopping them from eating someone a little different, like the Grinch? And apparently the Grinch knew of this, and that's why he ran away to be by himself, because he did not want to be eaten. But then eventually they win him over with their hypnotic song. So this theory is literally saying that their song that they sing literally puts the Grinch into like this trance. And then at the very end of the book, it says the Grinch himself even carved the roast beast, which is a critical plot point apparently, because it says he's fully assimilated now, which means he's fully in their trance of like their cult-like life. But it says, but what happens the next time the Who's need to feast? Where do you think they will source their meat from? You know as well as I do, the Who's are gonna eat the Grinch. It says, don't think they've forgotten what the Grinch did to them. No one forgives that easily. They're willing to eat their own, so they're more than certainly willing to eat an outsider, especially one who tried to ruin Christmas. And that's like basically this conspiracy theory. I think this one is the most far-fetched out of all of them. I feel like the first one I talked about is more realistic, at least me personally. But comment down below which ones you think are kind of legit, which ones you don't think are real at all. And if you have any other Grinch theories, definitely comment them down below. But if you want me to do more creepy Christmas movies, give this video a thumbs up and let me know, because I could also do like the Polar Express. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget, if you would like one of my new handmade necklaces, check out the Whimsy Wonders Instagram account. It has all the links there for you if you would like one. We also have the new Winnie and Ally plushies available and a whole bunch of other Christmas stuff, so definitely check it out. And I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!